Yeah, there are some nice parallels with Missouri Star here. Unruh Furniture started in a garage in Grandview and now employs over 20 people who work in this 36,000 square foot facility.
Our next story is also about building, just not using traditional materials.
It's about putting together a really big show that brings in really big bucks for the UMKC Conservatory.
It's called Crescendo, and back in November, producer-videographer John McGrath got to see the gala getting its act together.
Trying to fill up.
So we'll have horns across the back and antiphony up in the stairwells. Can I see a show of hands? Anybody who's never done crescendo before, raise your hand. Okay, that's quite a lot.
Well, here at Crescendo, we have a numerous performances by all the artists and students here at the Conservatory. It's our fall fundraising gala, so we try to showcase all of the talents and things that we offer at the Conservatory.
Crescendo Performance is a seamless show. We go from piece to piece without applause in between.
It takes about a year to plan Crescendo. They've already got next year's date set, and they're going to start working on the theme and everything else. And throughout that year, we talk about things and plan things, and we put pencil to paper, and we think, and we dream. And it can get kind of daunting after a while.
We've been doing Crescendo in this format for about the last 6 years. It's sometimes hard for us to get music students and dance students on the same stage at the same time. This allows them an opportunity to do those things together.
Thank you, appreciate that. So here's the run order of the show.
You're going to see the orchestra, the wind symphony, the choir. You'll see some jazz bands. You'll see dancers. You'll see some of our professors in brass and oboe and piano. And you'll see everything we do together at some points as well.
Thinking about getting from piece to piece to piece. It happens instantly, automatically, and you have to get the right people in the right place at the right time. So we're going to spend a little bit of time practicing the transitions, and then we're going to run it top to bottom.
Okay, this is your cue to tune, like cue to go.
We will go through a cue to cue, so we'll do lots of sitting and standing and running through the light cues.
As soon as you see lights hit you, that's your cues to go.
And then after that, we'll do another run through of the show and fix any problem areas.
Trying to fit all those bodies on there with all the intricate moves, and it is a ballet, so it's very hard to fit them all there, but we try to make it work the best we can.
But the great part about it is once we're all in the room and the kids are making music, everything that we've done to plan comes to fruition, and it's always a feeling of joy.
I think it's just most important the students get a chance to get out into the community. We get to play at Kauffman in this awesome performance center, and we get to show the people here in Kansas City what we're doing at the Conservatory and the music we're making and the work we're doing.
Oh my gosh, Hellsberg Hall, the Kauffman Center, amazing. We get so many opportunities to perform here, so when we are here, we cherish every moment.
It is very cool. The acoustics in this building were made very specifically for this kind of performance. And actually, my father worked on this building. So it's very cool for me to come back to this place and hear what it's like, this thing that he helped create.
It's amazing to play here. I love playing here. I've been playing here for a few years now. I was in Youth Symphony. We played here, and just getting to play here is an awesome opportunity to give us just a chance to see what it could be like once we get out in the real world. We're training to be the big shots, and those big shots were in our shoes when they started, and they did the same thing, and now they're there, and we're going to be there shortly. So
these are where the pros come from, and this is what we're here to do. These students will amaze you unbelievably in how incredibly talented they are. They don't look like students, they look like professionals. It's a mix of our very best faculty and students on stage. It's the best and brightest of what we do all at one time.
We are professionals in training, so it's a good way to encourage those people so you have people to see in the future. Because if you don't encourage us now, there may not be any professionals to see later on.
From me to you, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your artistry. Thank you for being here and for making this a special place to be.